Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. So for today, we are going to do Tevor showcases and we will have two different Tevor to showcase. So the first will belong to Yen Philip. Thank you so much for letting me use your account. I really appreciate it, and honestly, all of these videos that I do comes from you in the comments. So if you want to have some kind of showcase, or if there's something that you really want to see, feel free to leave it down in the comments and I will definitely take a look at it. Anyway, let's take a look at Yen's Tevor. So there are two different Tevors that I want to cover today based on two different builds. So the first build is going to be a typical straight up DPS build, which is your War Machine and Fiery. So here are the stats, and let's take a look at his abilities, right? So there are a lot of changes to Tevor, which is what makes him so great right now. So right now, he's actually really powerful. Now let's take a look at his first skill, Uncovered Truth. Attacks one enemy, deals 100% of attack damage, and inflicts Sear for 2 turns. Now do take note that yes, he is not skilled up at all, but it doesn't really matter all that much. It only really benefits his damage output, but his damage right now is already super high. So that's about it for his first skill. Let's move on to his passive, Nico Analysis. After attacking, if the target's HP is above 50%, you cast the same ability on the target again. Doesn't matter whether it's your first skill or your third skill, you will double cast. And if this is not triggered, you will gain 1 Nico Sense stack. Now this ability can be triggered once per turn, and you gain 2 Nico Sense stacks at the start of combat, which means every single wave that you enter, you will gain 2 Nico Sense stacks. So that also works for Temporal Tower. And this is what Nico Sense does. Each stack increases Tevor's crit damage by 15%, and when stacks are max, resets all ability cooldowns and attacks a target twice on the next turn. Then you remove all existing stacks, maximum of 2 stacks. So yes, it is slightly complicated, but don't overthink it, alright? Simply put, if you have 2 stacks of it, you will reset your cooldowns. However, this does not apply to this specific part over here where you gain 2 stacks at the start of combat. So every single wave that you enter will not reset your cooldown. So let's take a look at his third skill next. Nico Gift Box. Attacks one enemy, deals 200% of attack damage, and inflicts Nico Curse. Now this is what Nico Curse does. Upon the carrier's death, the effect is removed, dealing damage equal to 100% of Tevor's attack to all of the carrier's allies. Now this Nico Curse doesn't stack, so you can only have 1 Nico Curse at any one time on any given enemy. And this damage of 100% of his attack can actually crit. So essentially the way you want to build him right now is with a lot of crit rate, a lot of crit damage, and he's gonna deal a ton of damage. So here are his relics. He's running him with crit damage, attack percentage, and attack percentage. Very straightforward stuff, right? Now accuracy is not necessarily that important because it is just going to be his Sear debuff. But in most cases, you know, you're going to throw your Nico Gift Box first. You're not going to care too much about your first skill unless it's for specific content, like let's say Temporal Tower or maybe even PvP, right? Let's say Chronos. Now let's take a look at some Temporal Tower runs, and this is where I feel like he becomes very impactful. So he's quite similar to Jiangman in the way you want to build her, or rather in the way she performs, right? So this is a team that this is not like the be all and all team, but this works really well. So let's take a look at how powerful he can be. Hopefully we're not on auto. Okay, we're not on auto. Great. So we're going to start with a buff. Attack and crit rate. We don't really need a crit rate, but now at least we guarantee the 100% crit on Tevor. Okay, so it's a really good thing that they do not have immunity, or that would completely screw us up, right? Okay, so let's take a look at how powerful his third skill can be, right? But do take note that there is a shield buff over there which will affect the amount of damage that you're looking at, right? So let's target the Baroness there. Let's see how much damage we can do. Nice. 35k, boom, boom. Okay, so there you go. So he hit twice. And because of that, we are actually not supposed to get a Nico Sense buff, which I suspect could be a bug. Because the thing is, if you cast the same ability on a target again, you will not gain a Nico Sense buff. But it is what it is, I guess. So that's really, really good damage, right? But now the problem is he is on cooldowns. So now the thing is we need to reset his cooldown in order for him to use his third skill again, which means that he needs to attack one more time, and especially, supposedly, right, attack someone below 50% HP so that he can gain another Nico Sense stack, which would then reset his cooldowns altogether. So that's basically what you're going to do. We're going to use him to attack that, right? Let's just assume that the game is not bugged, and this is exactly how it's supposed to work. Okay, and here we go, right? So now we just use our normal attack, and that resets our cooldown, so that's pretty awesome. So now we have 2 stacks, right? So I think that's the reason why when we enter the next wave, which you will see very soon, that's probably the reason why he don't actually reset his cooldown when he enters a new wave, because he actually starts out the wave with already 2 stacks and not getting 2 stacks, if you understand what I mean. Alright, and that's it. Let's move on to the next wave. And there you go. So we do start off with 2 stacks, but that does not reset our cooldown. So let's try it on the Breen over there. Boom! 49k, almost 50k, dude. That was insane. That was very intense. So I guess the good thing about him is that it only takes you 2 turns to recharge your third skill, right? So every other turn, you are going to be able to use your third skill, which is what's so broken about him in my opinion. So when we normal attack right now, we are going to reduce our cooldowns, which means that the next turn, we are going to use our third skill again. So that is mind-blowing. And that's also something that I would like to abuse, which you will see in the later half of the video, where I use a different player's Tevor and try my hand at some specific strategies. Okay, and here we go, the final one. Now do take note that this will do a lot of damage to a defense broken enemy. Unfortunately, we do not have an attack buff because I forgot to do it. So, still 49k, okay, so that's pretty good. Alright, so we're going to try our hand at PvP. So let's target something that we can ensure a victory over here. So I think this should be fine. Yes, we do take the first turn. Let's buff up. Nice, nice, nice. Absorb AP. Very nice. Okay, so now Tevor is going to get a turn. Fantastic. What we're going to do now is, I guess, drop a stun. Okay, great. You got it on Sally. That's fine. What I'm interested to know is how much damage we can do and whether is this cleavable, right? Now, because we do not have any defense breaks over here, we are not going to be able to take out the Sally in one go, I think, right? But what we're going to do is probably take out their Tangyun, right? Because there's like the immediate threat over there. So let's do this. 37k and boom! Oh my god! Oh wow, that did much more damage than I thought. So honestly, the Temporal Tower really affected my view of the damage that he can potentially do. And clearly, he can deal a lot of damage onto Espers that are not built with a lot of defense. Now we are on another player's account, Kofi. Alright, thank you so much for letting me use your Tevor. So now the reason why we are doing 2 different showcases here is because his Tevor is built differently. So take a look at this, also no skills, right? So here are his relics. Dude, he's running him with Astral Witchcraft, which I think is a really good idea, by the way, because the thing is, Astral Witchcraft can proc your passive when you proc Astral Witchcraft. And if you're wondering what Astral Witchcraft does, it grants you a 20% chance of getting an extra... actually, it's not really a turn, it's an extra action when the Esper takes an action. Yeah. So the good thing about this is, now that we have understood how his passive works, if he gains an additional turn via Astral Witchcraft, he's going to instantly get 2 stacks of Nico Sense. And that's going to allow him to use his third skill immediately. So that's something that I'm very keen to look at. So we're going to play around with the VR Battleground so that we can have a better idea of how this works. So there are 2 ways that this can benefit him a lot. So the first way is after he uses his third skill. So like if I use my third skill and I proc an Astral Witchcraft, that's gonna give me 2 additional stacks of Nico Curse instantly. So that means that the moment I take my next turn, I'm gonna have my third skill up instantly, right? So that's 2 third skills in 2 turns. Now the other way is that if let's say I do not get my Astral Witchcraft proc right now, and I get it on my next turn, so what happens is I start off my second turn with a normal attack, and I instantly gain another turn with my Astral Witchcraft, and that allows me to reset my third skill instantly and then throw my third skill at the same time. So hopefully we get to see something like that. Okay, so we're going to start off with our third skill first. Bam. We do not proc our Astral Witchcraft, that's not really a problem. Let's see whether we get our Astral Witchcraft on the next turn so that we can see like one facet of it. Oh wow, I also just realized that, dude, Avatara on him is a really good choice as well. That triggered his passive to go when he did a counter attack, and that instantly built 2 of his passive stacks just like that, by countering. So that's another way that you can build this, right? This is another way that really works very well. And here we go, we have our third skill again. This is nuts, dude. Instant. Oh my god, this is great, this is great. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, let's try Astral Witchcraft, let's go. No. RIP. Okay, never mind. Now, will we proc an Astral Witchcraft? Oh, there you go, dude. There you go. So that proc of the Astral Witchcraft actually gave us another buff over here, which reset our cooldown, which means we instantly use our third skill again. Amazing stuff. This is... This is really good. I really like this build on him. So Astral Witchcraft from Avatara, I feel like this is definitely very powerful. Now, while we are on his account, there is also something else that I want to show you, which is another way that you can optimize using your Tevor, and that relies on a Fabrice. So ideally, what you want is to have your Fabrice just a little bit slower than your Tevor, right? And this is what it's gonna look like. So start off with an attack buff and absorb AP, right? Just give us a turn. So Tevor is gonna move first, followed by Fabrice. So Tevor is gonna use his third skill here. Okay, he proc Astral Witchcraft. This is perfect. So that means that if I use my normal attack, I'm gonna gain another stack, reduce my cooldown. And now with Fabrice here, we give our Tevor an instant turn, and Tevor is gonna nuke again. What the hell? This is freaking amazing, dude. Now the thing is, even if we do not proc our Astral Witchcraft, this is still very essential, and it's very helpful as well. So I'm gonna show you why this is the case. Well, hopefully we fail to get our Astral Witchcraft proc over here, right? we did fail. So what happens now is we can choose to give him a second turn by using our second skill again. And if this gives him an Astral Witchcraft proc, he's going to use his third skill immediately, right? So that's an additional chance for us to land a double hit. But I think in most cases where you want to play safe, you can actually use your third skill, which grants an invincibility and immunity onto one of your target allies, right? So in this case, we are going to use it on Tevor. That's going to protect him until Tevor takes his turn. And you're going to see why this is so important, right? Okay, so now that Tevor's turn is here, let's pray and hope we do not proc our Astral Witchcraft. If not, this defeats the entire purpose of this showcase. So let's use a normal attack on him. Please do not proc. Yes, we did not proc, but that reset his cooldown because now he has 2 stacks, right? So we're going to give him another turn this way. Oh my god, dude, this is amazing. We didn't deal as much damage as I hoped to, but that is an insane combo over there. So I guess that's basically it, isn't it, right? This is definitely a way that you can use him to the fullest advantage, and he has really come a long way to becoming so powerful as he is right now. And I really enjoy the new Tevor that he is. Just a lot of fun in my opinion. But anyway, huge shout out to Yen and Kofi. You guys are the best, man. Thank you so much for letting me use your accounts. This was a lot of fun and I definitely learned a lot by using Tevor this time around. He is just so fun to play with and I would definitely love to have my own Tevor right now. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Daddy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.